Hello, welcome. So today we are in a completely different room. Welcome to day 22. I wanted to challenge myself a little bit and speak a little softer, not only because there are people sleeping outside of this room, but because I know that I don't need to necessarily speak loudly in order to speak clearly and in order to communicate my thoughts properly, right? You don't need to sing loud in order to sing good. Does that make sense? I don't really know what I want to talk about right now, except for the fact that we've come a long way since we started this challenge. It's actually been 3 weeks, which is kind of crazy to think about. I did not think that I would be staying consistent up until this point, but then there's just been so many things that have been happening, but I still find ways to speak to the camera for 10 minutes, which is crazy. And I'm so proud of myself in that regard, to where I'm able to be consistent, and it shows, and it proves to myself. I proved to myself that I can do this, and if I if I put my mind to it, then I can make it happen. But it's not only in me being consistent. I feel as though I'm able to communicate my thoughts more clearly, and although I still do make mistakes, I've already made plenty of mistakes, and it's been less than 2 minutes since I started this video, but you can't really get these sort of real, raw talking shots, talking videos perfectly, right? There's still going to be those occasional there's going to be pauses to where you don't really know where to talk about, especially if you're not doing it scripted, right? But I think that's what gives it that sort of beauty. It feels like you're talking to someone in person. It feels like a friend is talking to you, right? So hopefully that's how it feels whenever I make these sorts of videos, and hopefully I've inspired some people to do what they want to do what makes them happy. Because while I still do think this is kind of cringe, just me talking in front of the camera, that's why I'm still kind of shy about it when it comes to recording and doing this sort of work in front of people. I really do think that it can be life-changing to a select few, to people who have this sort of creative need. Does that make sense? People who want to create, and people who... I'm blinking out. People who want to do this as not only as their job, but as a passion as well. So that I just want to inspire people in general. But I know that there's going to be a bunch of people that watches, but there's only going to be a select few that actually act upon it, which is what I was trying to say, I think. But yeah, super proud of my progress. I looked at my laptop, but we got something to talk about now. I'm watching the latest Gox art video, When You Finally Go Out of Your Comfort Zone, and it is amazing. I'm about halfway through, and the amount of work that he puts into his videos is insane. These videos take months of work. There's so much planning, the different shots that he uses, the time that it takes to set up each shot in terms of lighting, composition, and editing. It's a lot to think about, and it takes a lot to think about, to actually execute and shoot it, and to actually edit it. It's a lot of work goals, but I don't know if I'm able, if by myself at least, if I'm able to output this kind of content consistently. So maybe not to this extent, but I do want to get to his level if I really tried, like make at least one of these sorts of videos in my lifetime. There's a couple of others, Casey Neistat being one of them, Natalie Lynn, Life of Riza, Brian Ario. There's a bunch of different creators out there that have inspired me to create, and that's what I kind of want to do too, is just inspire other people to create. And this is where I'm at. I don't know what I don't know what I'm doing. It's just one of those days where you're kind of feeling off. You don't feel like doing anything. You don't feel like doing that sort of work. And these are the toughest days, but they're the days that you kind of need to just keep going. You gotta put in the work no matter what you're feeling, how you're feeling. And there's no reason for me feeling this way, for feeling lazy and not being, or not wanting to do anything. It just happens. And I think it's normal, but instead of me, not doing anything, I'm here putting in the work. And that's what matters. So this video is definitely interesting. It went from I'm doing great, I'm improving, and then I kind of hit a wall to the point where I couldn't really talk about anything. And it kind of shows that I'm surprised that it took this long for me to just like completely blink out and made me not want to do this anymore. I'm like, should I start over? But I know deep down that I shouldn't start over and that I should keep going, because I do want to make this as real and as authentic and as raw as possible. And it's only for the challenge, right? Once this whole thing is done, I think by the time the next month opens up, or by the time it's the next month, I will stop this challenge. Okay, so basically the only reason why I kind of paused was to listen to see if people were awake. I'm just being completely real right now. This is me thinking out loud. But yeah, so I only have 5 more days, not including this day, of me recording. And I still do want to make these types of videos, but I will put in a little bit of more work so that they're a little bit more polished, put on a really nice thumbnail, and yeah, that's what we will do. So to conclude, I'm just gonna go on a rant. I'm not gonna really end it on a positive note. I'm sort of questioning, would anyone want to watch this video, especially if I'm just doing my own thing and I'm not necessarily creating the best video. But again, you kind of have to think about why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this for other people. I'm doing this for me. And even though it's not a video that I'm 100% happy with, in all honesty, this video is probably my least favorite one, because it's just all over the place. I've talked about anything and everything, but it's just right now my mind is in like a little it's scrambled. It's I don't really know what to think right now. But yeah, it I feel as though, it's just part of life. You're not going to be able to perform at the top or your peak all the time. There are going to be low days, there are going to be high days, but you do what you got to do, and you just have to keep going. Thanks for listening.